Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back, all of you. We are here to serve you, to help you, and answer all your questions and all the comments, and to help you in any way possible to live a life of significance and success, because that you were created to live a life of significance and success, to be part of a great journey on this earth that will bring glory to God and will create a life and a legacy beyond your imagination. Uh, Hello, I'm Virginia Prodan, the host of Courageous Leadership with Virginia Prodan. I'm so glad to be here with you. Today, we're going to talk about your constitutional rights to vote, your desire to vote, your desire to be a model, to be heard, and to be part of the process that will bring freedom or socialist in America. In fact, this election, I believe it's so important. We might turn our America back to God, or we will embrace, as many are ready to embrace socialism. They have no idea what socialist stands for and what kind of life will bring to them and to others. But we are at the tipping point in America. We go towards socialism, or we return to God, and we value freedom that comes from God. I want to tell you, for those who don't know me, that I'm going to speak from my own experience. I grew up and fought against socialism. Tyndale House Publisher published my memoir, Saving My Assassin. You can find the book at virginiaprodanbooks.com. And I hope you will read it and you will understand that you have an amazing role and purpose in this time in America. And you should fear only God, not government, because your freedom comes from government, from God, not from the government. We live in a country that we call a democracy. We have rights established by the Constitution, and we have the right to vote. And we believe that the right to vote is important in America, and it's important in every country. But in America, we have the most freedom that other people in other country will love to have it. We consider in America voting as a language of democracy. Democracy is not spectator sport. It's an activity. It's an opportunity for many of us to go and vote and have our voice heard, be part of a building of this country back to what it used to be. We are the voice of people that love freedom and love America. So this is why it's important. We don't want to be silent. We don't want to submit to a group or a government who wants to bring socialists and communists to America. Socialists and communists, I experienced socialists and communists in Romania, and I know is what I call a land of lies and a prison land. We don't want to live in that. We have the opportunity with our vote to change the country and make substantive changes, things that we believe should be done. And without voting, we don't express our voice, so we are not going to have the opportunity to make those changes. by our vote, we create long-lasting implication. And like I said, in this election, we can go one way to socialist, or we can go and keep America free and have freedom. And those changes will come not only in the type of leader we choose as president of the United States, but in many areas, in the courtroom, in the Senate and House, in a city hall, in our state and local governments, and so forth. So. Indeed, vote can create long-lasting implications, not only for us, but also for a generation to come. And for that reason, I believe that it's important for us to understand how important our vote is. Today, in Texas, I live in Dallas, Texas, and in many states we started early election, and the election day will be November 5th. So between now and November 1st, it's the early election. You can go and vote at any place that you can choose, which is different. And on election day, you can vote only in the place that it was established according to your residence. You have the opportunity to see your ballot. In Dallas, we have not only have to choose on presidential election or federal and state election, but also we have propositions. And those propositions have a very important and lasting experience, lasting implication on our life here in Dallas. I'm sure that in your state or in your local election, you might have that too. When you go and vote, and unfortunately, there are reports that many, over 51% of Christians do not go and vote. For those of you who, for some reason, unknown reason to me, you don't go and vote, I want to tell you that this is a constitutional right that you have. It's so precious. People around the world will die to have that right. It's also a commandment from the Lord, who teaches us to be fishers of men, so to influence others, but also to change the world in His power. So when you don't vote to change these circumstances in your city or your country, for that your leaders will stand on God's principles, you are turning your back not only to your country, to your state, or to your local area, but you are turning your back to God. One day you will be required to answer those questions. That day might come even earlier than you imagine. I want to share with you, for those of you who never read Saving My Assassin, that if you read this book, try to read chapter 3 times. Why? Because it's a story of my uncle who thought, like many Christians now, that someone else will go and vote. Someone else will speak up. And when the Russian came to Romania with their boots and guns, and at the beginning tried to bring people to them as sympathizers, my uncle decided that he's not going to speak up. He's going to go to London and do some business and stay there maybe for a year, hoping that someone will speak up against socialism. Sure enough, after a year, he returned to Romania to his business. He was a banker, and he started to do his business like before. Well, by that time, socialist and communist was established in Romania, took power. So the government sent his representatives to my uncle's banker office and arrested him, took his business away from him, confiscated, became part of the government, and put him in a psychiatric hospital to train him to be loyal to socialists and communists. I have to say that he was never able to look in his eyes. He was never able to forgive himself for not speaking out. I don't want either one of you that might not want to go and vote to live this kind of life. One day, your kids or your grandkids suffering under socialists or communists because you didn't speak up, you didn't go and vote, will look at you and ask, what was your position? Did you go and vote? Did you go and speak up? Were you afraid? Afraid of what? Afraid of people or afraid of God? You will be required to answer those questions. So if you don't want to do for yourself, if you don't want to vote because you are afraid or whatever reasons you might have, if you don't want to do it for you, do it for your children. If you doubt that your vote will count, that the election will be fair, I'm asking you to go and vote. Vote the candidate who stays on God's principle, on family, husband and wife, protecting life, on protecting you to have a gun, protecting you to speak your mind without being interrogated or required to submit to government ideology and so forth. Remember, on the ballot, it's not Jesus Christ. There are two people, two sinful people. We all are sinful people. There is no perfect candidate. But you have to go and vote for the best, the one who will protect your rights, the one who stays on God's principle. And as you vote, put your ballot in the box or over there and pray that God will protect your vote. That's all that is required of you. You will be a role model for others. As you start to look and challenge candidates on every level, on presidential election or state, federal election or local, share those information with others. Help others. If they have small kids, like a single mom, try to take them to the voting and stay with kids, or take care of the kids during this time. If they are older people, help them with the research, help them to go there and vote, whatever the situation might be. If you want to volunteer, you go and volunteer there. Be an example for many, many people. Voting is such an important part of our lives. Freedom is precious to those who don't have it. I cannot emphasize to you that when socialism establishes its roots in a country, will take 50, 75, or even more. Look at China. And for a very long time, people will be forced to live under socialists and communists. So you receive freedom because others fought for our freedom, because others, like military, died for us and for America to have freedom. It is our time. Just going to vote. We don't risk anything. Just to go to vote and vote for your Christian values. That's all that is required of you. You will be glad that you have done your right, your constitutional right, you exercise your constitutional right, you will be a role model for many, many other people. Voting will have an implication for years to come in your children's education, as right now many schools are not teaching our kids, but they are indoctrinating our kids. Many schools do not allow the parents to have any access to their children's education. Soon, if you don't vote, and this government will extend its power, will start more and more to submit people to its power, will take kids out of our control or our lives. We already have some states like California and others where children can change their sex without parents' knowledge. We have people that went to a place where they had abortion and they didn't say anything. They were just praying. They were arrested and they're in jail for praying around those places. We have a candidate where when someone said in the audience, Jesus is Lord, her answer was, you are at the wrong rally. You are at the wrong place. If you don't understand what this candidate stands for, what she will do to America and to you as a citizen, think twice. Freedom is precious to those who don't have it. I have lived under a dictator and under a government who started in the beginning to say, oh, you can do whatever you want. You want abortion? Go and do it. You want to change sex? Go and do it. You want to do this? Go and do it. And guess what? When the government started to gain power, socialist and communist government started to gain power, and people, because the government takes control of everything, will take control of our companies, will be everything. Government control will take control of price and quality of the products. People have less money. They have more and more abortions. And guess what? The government decided that in order to feel like a strong and powerful government, they had to have subjects, because that's where we were in Romania. We're not people under socialist and communist government. We are subjects of the government. And for that reason, from you want an abortion? Oh, go and do it and vote for us. Soon after socialists and communists took power, they consider and they decree that abortion is against the law. You have to be 55 years old and have already 5 kids in order to have an abortion. I can tell you how many and horrible things the government has done to us. You have you're a white person and you have a family. Oh, you are privileged. Look at other people. Their parents are divorced and everything. You have a house. Oh my goodness. You know what happened? The leaders of the socialist government will choose in a city the type of house they want to confiscate and to live in. And those owners will be taken out of their house. And if the government or leaders of the government will look at their face and will consider that they were not happy, they will kill them right away. Many others will have people, if they had like 4 rooms in their house, the government will come and bring people in their house. The former owner will live in the smallest room in the house, no matter how many of them were in the house, and the rest that the government will bring will be in a different room. And guess what? The owner will be humiliated and will be the servant of those leaders and those loyal to socialists that socialists brought in their homes. Do you want me to continue? Your vote will stop socialists in America or will continue to provide this government extension, more power, and desire to submit us, to force us not to go to church, not to have a Bible, and not to have our kids. And the list goes on. I hope that I gave you just few examples that will wake you up, and they will determine you to go and vote, because your vote is important, will have implication for not only now, but generations to come. America is the best country in the world. I came to this country empty-handed. I had no money, didn't speak any English. I had 3 kids with me, and by the grace of God, I learned English. I went to law school, this time at SMU Law School in Dallas, Texas. I wrote my memoir. Tyndale published my book, and I've raised my 3 kids. My first daughter graduated from SMU, my second daughter from Harvard Law School, and my son from United States Air Force Academy. I have my law firm. I speak everywhere. This is America, the best country in the world. Let's not destroy it. Let's generation to come after us enjoy the freedom that comes from God, and let us preserve that freedom, because we are here for a purpose and with a purpose to serve the Lord, to do what He's asking us to do, to change the world in His power, and voting is one of them. I hope that you will go to vote. You will be a model for others. Your voice will be heard, and you will bring with all of us America back to freedom. After all, we as Americans brought Christ, freedom, and prosperity to people all over the world. Today, it's our job to bring Christ, freedom, and prosperity back to America. And together, we can do that. May God bless you. And I want to hear from you how you went and vote, how you help others, and how your vote changed America for freedom, and not only for freedom, freedom in Christ, and freedom as the Constitution provides our freedom in details. After all, freedom comes from God. And what you have learned and how you have helped others. Freedom is precious to those who don't have it. Until next time, go and vote. If you have any questions and if you need any help, please go to virginiaprodanbooks.com and contact, and I will answer all your questions. God bless you. You are important for us. You are important for God. You are important for America. Go and vote. Change America back to Christ, back to the freedom He is offering us. Turn all of those desires of the liberals to bring socialists and to make you a puppet in government's hands, turn them away. Destroy them by a vote. May God bless you, and see you later. Bye-bye.